If I had a nickel for every single Asian horror film that we saw this week that was all about a little child being possessed, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. That would have been way funnier if I had not screwed up that intro like 5 different times. Oh, that all got cut out. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is Thorgiween, in which we're watching a horror film every single day, all month long, and we are right smack dab in the middle of International Horror. We've done a lot of these today, folks.
Yes.
We are right smack dab in the middle of International Horror Week, and we are going to be watching a horror film from a different country every single day this week. Today we're going to Indonesia, and we are watching Satan's Slaves. There, I got everything out. That was the review. Thanks, everybody.
All right, bye. No.
Bye. So yeah, this film, you have to forgive me because I literally looked up the director's name right before this, and now I have forgotten it now that we're talking. But the director for this film, I was looking up horror films from around the world, like suggestions, and the website that I was using, the 2 suggestions it gave from Indonesia, both came from this exact same director. And both of them had the exact same IMDb score, and they were both the exact same length, separated by like a minute. So this guy definitely has a track record. But yeah, this guy is being hailed as like a big upcoming horror star in Indonesia. He even recently made a sequel to this film, which that's why I decided to watch this one instead of the other one. And that film, like, everyone's praising it. Like, it's got an even higher review score than any of his other movies. And watching this, yeah, I think this guy is talented.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have some problems with how this movie ends. But the thing that I found so interesting about this movie is I would love to read an interview from this guy and know, like, his background and what it is, like, where they got their ideas from and what films they watched that inspired them. Because I'm going to let you guys know right now, we're doing International Horror Week, so a lot of people out there are probably thinking, oh, okay, so you guys are going to definitely hit up Japan and you're definitely going to hit up Italy. Because Italian and Japanese horror, super famous. Everybody knows them. That's exactly why we're not hating those two.
Yeah.
It's because we started talking about this and we went, man, I can't pick like one Japanese horror film to watch, one Italian horror film to watch, because you could literally do a week of Japanese and Italian horror. And watching this film, I went, this dude has to have grown up on Italian horror films. This is one gouged out eyeball scene away from being a Lucio Fulci film. This dude, I mean, it's about a family growing up next to a cemetery, and there's a deal that was made with the devil, and it's like, oh my God, like, you're following down the checklist here, man. But even just the style, like how shots are established, like the particular types of scares that they put in here, it is so Italian horror coded. Like, there is a moment towards the end of this film, like just a couple shots during the big final sequence at the end of this that was like, I know the exact films that you watched. So, yeah, it turns out that we didn't actually have to do any Italian horror films this week. We kind of already did. You watch this film and then you watch a couple Lucio Fulci films and you're like, I see, okay, I know where you got your inspiration from. But again, I want to reiterate, just because I can look at something and go, this is where they got the inspiration from, doesn't mean that's bad.
No.
Everybody was inspired by something. Just so often it might be something that you can't identify, so that's why you think, oh, this is so original. It's like, they probably got it from somewhere. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, like, be inspired by something, Lucio Fulci is an incredible artist to be inspired by. But let's go ahead and get into this. The film is all about this family whose mother has dementia of some kind. She has some kind of a condition. She can't really talk. She can't leave the bed. She just rings a bell to ask for help at all times. And the moment that that gets set up, you're like, well, that bell is going to come back around. That's definitely going to be like the thing that's going to be like a jump scare at some point, thing that's supposed to freak us out. And indeed it is. But yeah, she rings a bell for help when she needs it. And she used to be this famous singer, but all the checks have now dried up. Nobody's buying her stuff anymore. And the family doesn't know if they'll be able to keep affording this home.
And they don't know if they'll be able to even take care of her.
Yeah, like they have no idea what's going to go on in the future. It's a very uncertain time for them. And we should point out the family is a father who I looked up the credits. He's just listed as father in the credits on IMDb at least. But then
the oldest sister.
The older sister, whose name is Rini.
And then the older brother.
Who's like 16. Yeah, the older sister 22, the older brother's 16. Then they have like middle brother.
Yeah.
Who his age is never established, but they did say that each of them are less than 7 years apart from each other. And then there's the youngest brother who can't hear, so they communicate in sign language throughout this. And he's about to celebrate his 10th birthday?
No,
7th
yes.
birthday. Yes. So this is the first thing that I have to say about this. And then there's also the grandma who's living with them.
Yeah.
This is the first thing that I have to say about this. I really like this family. I think this family has a great dynamic with each other. I think that, I have no idea, like, what if they might have like done any training beforehand, like spend time with each other.
Or if they had siblings of their own.
Yeah, exactly. But you watch this and you buy they're a family. Like they joke with each other. They like just the way they hang out with each other. It feels incredibly natural. So I think they did a wonderful job casting this family and just making them feel like they're all together. But the mother, unfortunately, does pass away. And the cemetery that she's buried in is right outside their house. And, the middle brother gets a little bit concerned about this.
Like the second youngest.
Well, the middle brother, there's 3 brothers.
Yes.
There's four children, but the oldest one is a daughter, so the middle brother.
Yeah.
He's getting a little bit nervous about all this. It doesn't feel quite right to him. And he thinks he can even see some people out there in the graveyard in the middle of the night. So, as you can imagine, the kid's not imagining things. Yeah, there's definitely something going on here. You can feel it almost instantly. And the father then has to leave. He goes away for business for a little bit. So the children are all left there by themselves with the grandma. But then the grandma passes away. And you can tell it's not a coincidence that they both pass away right after each other. It's definitely connected in some way. And they start kind of investigating and the children, now left completely by themselves, have to start investigating what's been going on. And this is something that I will say about the pacing of this film. It's a little bit odd, but not bad. And what I mean is, and the thing that I mean about the pacing in here is that a lot of stuff, they immediately just go on to the next point. That's how they go with this. They just go like, okay, we're now into this. We're now into this. This is happening now. We're now doing this. Like there is, and this is a term that I didn't know existed because I'm an ignorant American, but they're all Islamic, and the ustads, I believe it's called, the high-ranking person within the Islamic faith. He's, again, I'm sorry, I'm an ignorant American on this one, but I'm trying to learn. His house is like on the other side of the cemetery from them. And he's got like, was it his son or was it like?
Yeah, I think it was his son.
Yeah, because at first I thought that it was just like an assistant who was like in training with him. But the more it goes on, I was like, no, I think that's actually his son. I know they said it at one point.
Yeah, they did.
They said it at one point and I've completely forgotten what it is. My apologies. But his like young protege guy starts getting like pretty close with Rini. And the two of them start like coming closer together. And then there comes a moment after the suspicious stuff starts happening, and when she just flat out says, I saw something, I don't think it's human, it looked like your mother, I think it's a ghost of some kind. Like, he just flat out goes, no, we're on to this part of the movie now. This is where we are now. And then from that point, it's like, yeah, everybody's just like, that's a thing that's happening. And they start investigating like, okay, the grandma was doing something as well. And they find a letter. And they take the letter to this person. And that person just goes, okay, here's the next piece of information that you needed. Like, they moved this along pretty quickly. And I appreciated that. I will admit, it's a little bit jarring how quickly it moves at sometimes. But it's never to the point in which I was like, okay, well, you're just, I wasn't done with this part of the movie yet. they do move at still an acceptable pace. It was just a little bit interesting.
Like, they let you finish your meal before going on to the next course, but it's just like...
But you don't have time to digest it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. Yes, the waiter comes in and immediately swoops in with the next meal. It's like, oh, I guess we're on this now. All right. Yeah, you will never watch this film and go, man, this thing drags along. Nope, it's moving. And from there, this becomes I don't want to say haunted house, because even though the house is being haunted, like, no, you get the feeling there's more going on here than just the mom's spirit is haunting the house. There's definitely something going on. I mean, I feel like we can spoil this part because the name of the movie is Satan's Slaves. They go and they talk to this guy who I kept referring to as Indonesian Tommy Chong because he really does kind of look like Tommy Chong. But they're talking to him, and he knew the grandma, and he says, okay, so your grandma and your mom did not get along when they first met each other. She kind of thought that she stole your father away. But then your mother couldn't have children. And your grandma began to think, oh, if God didn't give her the ability to have children, then who is she praying to for children? She's praying to Satan. Your mom asked Satan for children.
Yeah, and basically she goes to, like, a cult, and basically cult members are kind of like Satan's slaves in certain cults. In this particular cult, but so...
They're going to a satanic slave.
Yes, and so that's basically who she was praying to for children, is Satan, so...
And now you get the sense that's like, okay, it's not just that a ghost is haunting this house, it's the devil.
Yeah.
And... there's a lot, and from that point on, there becomes a lot of messages in here about family, because they discovered that they're coming not for the entire family, they're just coming for
like the youngest
child, the one who has the hearing problem, and also because he's the youngest, and it gets established that the child must be taken before they're 7, and it's kind of implied that's why there's so many of them.
And why they're, like, almost 7 years apart.
Evenly spaced out fairly. Good tight.
Oh, that was in my nose for a while.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Okay. We gotta really test out those microphones. So, yeah, there's something that they discovered that's like, okay, well, they have to come and take the child before they hit 7. Your youngest child is now about to hit 7, and yeah, pretty much each of us, oh, the oldest sister's 22, well, the oldest son is 16. That's 6 years in there, and I don't think we ever get the middle child, but
I think he's like 10 or something like that.
Yeah, he's like 10, 11, 12, something like that. And then the youngest child is about to turn 7. So now there's like this ticking clock on, okay, can they protect this child until he turns 7? And there's also this big message about family in there, because they discover, all right, they can only take them if the family gives them away. And you do not have to look hard to realize it's family strong, family stay together, do not give up on your family. Like, that is clearly the message of this whole thing. Up until the end, and then I have some questions. Because I was really enjoying this. Like I said, the biggest appeal to me is not just the family, the entire cast. I think everybody in here is really good. They all feel incredibly natural. They all have like just the right amount of chemistry with each other to feel like real. And there is enough of a mystery in here too. And this is a film in which they rely a lot on, more ghostly stuff. It is more of okay, what was that sound? What's this thing moving? Throw this, and it gets caught in something that's just floating there in the air. We're going to sit here in silence for a bit, waiting to see if something makes a noise like that. But there is one bit of gore in here. And man, came out of nowhere,
and it's doesn't even have anything to do with the ghost.
No, there's a little bit of
little bit, yeah, but
yeah, it's definitely connected in some way.
Yeah,
it's
but not in the way you expect. Like,
it's the ghost doesn't attack someone. However, we're starting to get into like the whole cult stuff and the whole like, okay, like these are Satan worshipers and they're coming for this guy. And yeah, you see something real quick. They're like, what the hell is that? That's not natural. Right before someone dies, a very brutal death. And I will say, again, for anybody out there who is like, are you sure this was inspired by Italian horror? Man,
that one scene
was inspired by some Italian, like, it is jarring how light on any gore or graphic material this film has been. And then all of a sudden you just see a thing. It's like, fuck. And it even has that Italian red blood. Like, if you watch any of those Italian horror films, the red was always a very distinct shade. And yeah, you watch this and it's like, man, they absolutely had to have been inspired by Italian horror films. This person had to have grown up on Lucio Fulci stuff. So yeah, from that point on, again, it is basically just the spirit possessing the house, like roaming around the house. And I will say, this filmmaker really does a good job of knowing how to frame shots. I feel like that's 2 days in a row in which I've given that same compliment, but no, you are watching this movie and your eyes are darting all over the place of, I know something is coming.
Mm-hmm.
I know something is coming. Where is it coming from?
Mm-hmm.
There are so many shots in here in which one of the kids has a toy robot. And they will make sure to frame that thing in the middle of the room every single time that it is on camera. And my eyes were locked on that. Like, when are you going to move?
Yeah. And
I know you're going to move.
There was also like a full-length mirror in like the mother's bedroom. And I'm like, when is like some sort of shadow going to go across? It's like, I know that's going to happen, but when?
Yes.
Like,
and the film, it does a few jump scares, but it earns most of them, I feel. Yeah. It does the right amount of build up to them. And like, there's one moment in there that, man, I thought this was genius. What are they called again? I apologize right now. I'm so sorry. The Ustads. He keeps coming to the family and saying, do you pray? And they say, no, we don't pray, which was honestly bold of the family, because I remember being a kid whenever like the preacher would come by and it's like, oh, do you plan on going to church? Yeah, totally. We're gonna absolutely. Father, is that the right one? Is that no? Oh, that's the other guys. Okay. Yeah, but these guys were just flat like, we don't pray. And it's like, well, maybe you should do some praying. And then there comes that moment which stuff has been going on, and Irini decides, all right, I'm going to pray. And so she gets down and she starts, doing the whole tradition, the whole sequence that you have to do for that. And she's bowing down over and over, and the camera is following her, bowing down, then going back up. And the moment the camera was following her in that way down and up, I went, I know exactly what's going to happen, you motherfucker. You are setting this up so well. I know it's coming. I know what you're going to do. You're going to have the camera go down, follow her down, and then come back up, and now there's suddenly something standing behind her. I know what you're up to. But man, it is such a clever way to do that.
Yeah, and it's like, usually when a film does that, it's like, oh, it's so obvious that's gonna happen. It's like, and it takes away the scare and everything. But like, this movie does it very well.
I was still like, even though I called it, I don't want anybody in here being like, oh, well, you knew it was coming, so it's not that scary. It's like, no. The way they set it up is like, the way they set it up, like I said, it is okay to do scares like that when you can make the suspense of it coming really scary. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the moment I realized that's what you're going to do, when are you going to do it? Like, I was just sitting there like, come on. Stop trying to hit me and hit me. Come on. Yeah, like it's really impressive how much that was affecting me with just the setup of that moment. And I will not say what exactly they do with that, but even with me knowing that was coming, what they ended up doing was like, oh, God damn it, that I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
That impressive as hell. Way to go. Applause all around. This person knows how to set up scares. And the story, great with the characters. I was really impressed with all this. This thing I have so much applause for until the end, and then I don't know what the hell happened. The end, it feels like they had a setup. It feels like they knew how to tell this story. They knew exactly where they were going with it, what they were going to do. And I don't know if I blacked out for like 5 minutes or something or what, but the actual end of this film, I'm like, what the heck? What?
Like, it felt like they didn't know how to end it.
It
or
really has that feeling.
Or like it went on for too long and they had to cut it or
something like that.
Yeah.
This does not feel like a natural end to it. I got stuff to say when we get to the spoiler section, but I will just say it firmly establishes this is the goal, this is the message, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going. We have now reached that point. There's still 5 more minutes in the movie. Let's just throw everything in the fire. I did not like what they did at the end of this film. And then there's like an epilogue shot, and I kept mentioning Lucio Fulci. This epilogue shot feels like, oh, someone's a fan of Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Which is not Lucio Fulci, but man, you can watch this and be like, I do not mean to keep looking at this director and be like, I see the things that inspire you. Because for all I know, this guy's like, who the hell is Lucio Fulci? What the hell is Rosemary's Baby? He could have fallen backwards into just happening to line up with these guys. So I hate that I'm like putting that much on him. But the very end of this film, I was like, it really feels like someone just said, I want to do Rosemary's Baby now. Let's do that for the final 2 minutes of this film. It's like, the fuck? Which makes me wonder, there is a sequel to this, and it's getting really good reviews, but it does make me go, okay.
Is it going to be a continuation of this family? Is it going to be the baby, or like...
What is the continuation? Because it definitely feels like the end of this film sets up for a sequel. Because it is not a satisfying ending unless it is purposely to be continued. Mm-hmm. Which even that isn't satisfying, but at least then I have the feeling of like, well, at least I can like see where this is going. Yeah, I do not like the end of this film at all. And it's a shame because I was willing to give this like an A- or something. But now I'm going to go to straight B because that ending... I just really didn't enjoy that much. I don't know. What would you give it? Sorry, folks. Need a break for the dog to get up here on the couch. I don't even know if you can see her.
Like, she isn't even in frame.
She's right there.
Just barely.
Okay. So, as we were saying, what score would you give this?
You said you gave it originally an A-, but then you dropped it down to a B. I'm gonna give it, like, a B+. From an A- because the ending did not really affect me as much as it affected you.
You know what? I'm going to go back up to B+ because I feel bad just saying B because like there's still so much good here. Just the ending. Yeah. All right. Anything else that you want to add before we get to the spoiler stuff?
Well, originally, because the title of this movie is Satan's Slaves and the mother is a singer, I thought the plot was she sold her soul to the devil to become a famous singer.
I literally thought the same thing.
And then, like, basically, her contract is up, and now her family has to suffer from her consequences.
I definitely thought that, like, I still think that might be part of it.
Maybe.
Somewhere. I get the feeling that might be something in here. But yeah, that part isn't fully explained because I will be honest with you, they don't really go into that cult all that much. No. You guys can probably hear the dog off camera now. Oh, well, now you stop. But yeah, they don't really go into it as much as I think they need to for how important that element is at the end of this film.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if budget had anything to do with it, because there's a moment in which they mention, there's a moment in which they mention that there are satanic cults in the city. And I was like, so is there going to be a moment in which you go into the city and investigate this? Oh, no. Nope. Okay, we're still filming out in the country. Okay, it feels like budget might have been a little bit low on this. So, let's go ahead and actually talk about the spoiler stuff in here. First off, I'll say the graphic part is the boy who Rini is kind of like bonding with.
Yeah, like the Ustad's son.
Yeah, son or protege. I forgot which it is. My apologies. But there's a moment in which he goes out there to get a letter from Indonesian Tommy Chong that is explained like what's going on. And like he even asks what's going on and he turns up the radio real loud and starts whispering to him what it is. And it's like, okay, so the implication is that this cult is moving in and they're all around him now. So he's driving back and then all of a sudden he sees like some dark human figure running on all fours up onto the road. And he's like, what the heck is that? And they like kind of like blinks and there's now a car in front of him that just runs him over and just splatters. Yeah. And it's so jarring.
Like you see his face getting scraped across the pavement.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, because like, you know, in most car accident scenes, you just see the body get struck. Yeah. You don't see it actually like going under the vehicle and being like crushed and everything.
I totally could feel from that moment that the filmmaker, that had to be like his favorite scene in the entire movie. Like I just got the feeling from that moment. This guy, again, you watch this and you get the sense that the filmmaker, I might have been like projecting some Italian horror films on him there, but you definitely get the sense watching this, whoever it was that made this film grew up watching horror films. And I watched that and I just got that feeling of almost like when a college filmmaker is like, oh shoot, I found some people who can do like the special effects of like a hit of like this one big scene that I need for this movie. I just got the feeling that this guy was like, oh, it's like I watched footage of how Tom Savini does this. Oh, let's do that. It just has that like.
And that's probably where most of the budget went. And that's
maybe because that's like the one stunt.
Yeah.
That like they had to get a camera in there for the right angle. Like, yeah, they had to do work for that one. But I could just feel the passion in that moment. And we had to say that about a scene where someone's being like scraped up by underneath a car. But no, you watch that scene and you can just feel they had to be like, this is how, okay, we got to figure out how to do this. We're going to do this. It's going to be great. Like, it just has that feeling to me. Hey, Peach, yes, I'm clapping my hands. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yep, there we go.
Okay, now she's in frame. All
okay.
Right. So.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Okay, and now back again.
You don't know whose lap you want to be on, do you?
There you go. Be in that lap, boy. Be in that lap. That's a good lap. Okay, so at the end of this film, the cult now shows up and like the house is getting attacked. And it's by like all the bodies in the cemetery. And you see when the people are buried, they get wrapped up in like just these white wraps. And so you're seeing the zombie spirit ghost attacking the family. And it's just a whole bunch of people crammed into a doorway with like white makeup on their face and like the white like fabric wrapped around them. And yeah, it's so great. It's a great look for like just that creepy scene. It also does kind of remind me, again, not to go back to this, but Lucio Fulci's House by the Cemetery. Or was it House by the Cemetery? I'm forgetting the exact name. I'm forgetting which one it was. The one where the lady moves to New Orleans and the place she's in is a portal to hell. It kind of ends in a similar way. Yeah, I thought that looked great. That was like the imagery on that, like, man, to the filmmaker, you nailed what you were going for in that moment.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it like in the mirror, like when the zombies were like trying to go for the family, but like they couldn't get through the door.
Oh no, I didn't see that in the mirror.
No, it was the grandmother's ghost that was pushing.
Oh, that okay, yes. I saw that. That's
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I thought that was great. I thought, again, that was great. Again, there's a big message about family in here. And the first really big spoiler that we need to talk about, they're talking about when the mother died and Rini saw her father talking to her that night. And it's revealed that the father basically gave up on the mom and basically said, I think it would be better for the family if we didn't have to take care of you. And yeah, obviously.
It's a difficult choice, but like you understand the situation.
I'm not going to really wag my finger at a guy in that situation being like, who has now watched the person you love just collapse to a point in which like they can't talk, they can't do anything. All they can do is just wail and moan in pain. And the entire family like they have no reasources or anything to help
Yeah,
with this anymore. Like I'm not.
The oldest brother had to sell his bike and his watch.
Yeah. The entire family is suffering from this, and yeah, I'm not going to like wag the finger and say the dad was evil because he just like was like, listen, you're suffering, we're suffering, like I want you to not suffer anymore, and if you stop suffering, like I'm not gonna lie, like it would also be easier on us. Like I'm not gonna like wag my finger at the dad for that moment.
Yeah.
It's like it's understandable. It's not like it's not a thing you want to hear someone say, but like it's understandable that someone would feel that way. What was I gonna say then? But clearly the implication of what the story is trying to say now is the reason why the mom then died at that moment and has now come back as a vengeful ghost and is bringing all of them with her, bringing everything else and all this other misfortune, is because the family turned on the mom. Because, as they said, the Satanist cult can only take the family if the family, like, gives them up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, like, the dad giving up the mom. And so that's why all this horrible stuff is happening. But then, like I said, big theme of family in here and families having to stick together. And then there comes the moment in which the little brother, the baby one who they're all going after, he is being sucked up. Like the ghosts are trying to like suck him into the doorway, and he's like holding onto a rafter and just screaming out, "I love you, brother, I love you." And then
like he's even like signing with one hand.
Yeah, which that kid's got a hell of a grip that he's able to like still like because his body is in the air holding on with one hand as he's signing "I love you." And then the little brother, which this little bit of a negative I have to give. This plotline really goes nowhere, where it seems like the middle brother has become possessed.
Yeah, and wants to kill the younger brother.
And like, there's even a moment in which like he hides a knife behind him, and Rini sees it and goes, "Oh, that's where that went." And then just takes like, girl, even if you don't know he's possessed at this moment, like you gotta question that. But yeah, that plotline kind of like fizzles away.
Yeah, the story is a family, they want the sacrifice they have to like be willing to give it up by the family. I thought like maybe the son being possessed by a demon wanting to like get rid of his,
that feels like a cheat, because that's not even him wanting to give up the little brother. Yeah, that's the devil wrote the wrong answers on your term paper. That doesn't mean that you gave the wrong answers. That's a hell of a reach on that metaphor. I'm running out of steam. We've got 3 of these in a row right now, folks. What's it called? But then the middle brother runs in there and saves the little brother and is like, hooray, the family is all together now.
Yeah, it's like he beat the devils, and like he realized that his love for his family, like basically kicked the demon out of him.
Exactly. Good. Hooray.
Yay.
Everything came together. Great. Still a couple minutes left in the film. By the way, I will say the Satan cult shot insanely well. Like all wearing the same clothes, holding umbrellas over their heads at night, and the umbrellas, the shadow from them is completely hiding all their faces.
Really, yes.
That's really well done. Looks
and
really
like,
creepy.
They are all in sync with each other too.
There's moments in which they move and everybody moves. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's so well done. Yeah, again, very well done on that. I wish that we had seen some more of them like in the city when they're talking about like, oh, it's this and that, like, oh, they've been spotted in the city. Maybe get a little bit of something like that in there. It's like, but yeah, I think they just didn't have the budget for that to like do any shots in the city outside of Tommy Chong's apartment. But then this is the moment in which it feels like everything's wrapped up. They're telling the Satanists to get out of there, go away. And then it feels like they just didn't know what to do at the end of this. Because then the little kid just turns evil and joins the Satanists. And they're like, and he's now turned on the family. And then Indonesian Tommy Chong comes in to save the day and gets the family to run into his car. And they're like, what about our brother? And then he just goes, that's not your brother. The dog is panting like crazy. I apologize, by the way. But he says, that's not your brother. It never was. And that's all the explanation he gives. and drives away, and then it cuts to 6 months later. And they're living in an apartment somewhere just fine, and their neighbors come by and drop off some food, and then we follow the neighbors, and it's revealed they're part of the Satanist cult. And it's big Rosemary's Baby vibes, as I said there at the end.
Like, there was a moment where, like, the oldest brother tells the sister, hey, you know, maybe multiple members of that cult impregnated our mother, and that's why we don't look the same. And she's like, there's a lot of siblings that don't look alike. And I was wondering if the youngest, whose name is Ian, maybe he was someone else's father? So he's technically not part of the family?
So, well... But, I mean, they all still have the exact same mom. So, how is it not their brother still? Like, even if it's going with that explanation of where every single one of them had a different dad, they're all still, like, they all still have the same mom, and they all still grew up with each other. I mean, hell, even if it's some weird thing where it's like, no, that's actually, like, not even your mom's child. That was, like, Satan's baby that they delivered like a stork one day. And you still grew up with this kid for 7 years, treating him like your younger brother. And there's no explanation. They just go like, that's not actually your brother. Bye. See ya, everybody. What? That drove me insane.
Yeah.
Like, I literally did like a double take of, what? And I'm like, I'm glad that you saw it too, because it is such a weird, like, no explanation come out of nowhere that I would be willing to bet that I fell asleep during this and dreamed that ending. It is so weird and out of nowhere. It drove me insane, honestly. Yeah, I do not like the ending of this film. And it's a shame because I love the rest of this movie. I think the rest of this movie is great. I don't know what the fuck happened there at the end.
And this is getting a sequel, right?
Apparently it already had one. It's already come out, yeah.
So, like, maybe in the sequel it'll explain the issue with that kid, or...
We still got, like, a couple more days of Thorgiween after this week's over with. Maybe we'll get back to that.
Maybe.
Yeah, I had an idea for the final full week of what the theme would be, but maybe it's just us going like, no, fuck it, we got some things that we gotta figure out here. Just watch all the sequels to all these other movies that we've talked about so far this month.
International Week 2.
There's enough we could do.
Honestly, yeah, we could probably, like, do an entire, like, not month. Even year, just based on, like, a movie from each country. Like.
Yeah. Like I said, I found a website that, like, when we started International Horror Week, in my mind, when I first started coming up with this, I was like, okay, we're going to do this Italian film. We'll do, like, 3 Japanese films. And then, like, you know, we'll do this film from Spain. That's 5. I can find, like, 2 other ones in there. And now we're not even doing Japan or Italy.
Yeah.
Because they're so, like, the more I looked into it, I was like, oh, shoot, no, I want to watch that. I want to watch this. 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 Like, there's stuff from everywhere that's really interesting. Yeah, this might be, like, just a new tradition for Thorgiween every year, where every year we do International Horror Week.
Yeah.
Because, there's some really good stuff that nobody sees in America because it just doesn't get wide releases over here. But I'm so interested in. And yeah, I do kind of want to see the sequel to this because I'm like, all right, please tell me you followed up on this stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anything else you want to add before we end?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
There you go. So, only 2 days left in International Horror Week. Tomorrow, we're going to South Africa, and we're going to be watching, I don't know because we haven't actually watched the film yet.
But we're definitely going to do a movie from South Africa.
Well, no, I know what film we're going to watch, but I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
Because I haven't watched the film yet. So, it's this film. Here's the name of it right here. There you go. So, we're watching that. But there you go. Bye, everybody.
Bye.